it's Jen Churchill, and I'm here to share some tips with you on how to create your own yoga props at home. So as we get into practicing at home, you might find that you want to have some props to help enhance your practice. And you might not want to go out and spend a bunch of money on blocks and blankets and bolsters and straps and all these awesome props that you can use, but might break the bank. So first off, a block. How can you find something around the home that you could use in place of a block? Well, I was just noticing that I have some picture boxes back there that I could probably use. I would want to stuff them with something to make it more sturdy. But another thing that we all have at home are books. And you can find some books that are about the size of a yoga block. So this yoga block is 9 inches by 6 inches by 4 inches. Some of them are about the same dimensions, but 3 inches instead of 4 inches. So this is about the same, maybe more like the 3-inch block. And a way to stabilize it is by using some tape. So I could tape the books together if they're not books that I want to use anytime soon. Or if you want a more temporary solution, some rubber bands. So I'm going to use some rubber bands to put it together. Maybe 4 rubber bands should do. And here we go. 3 short ways and then 1 long ways. So we use our blocks to give us some height when reaching the floor. Also, we use them sometimes in my classes for forearm planks. So once I show you my strap prop, then we can use the block and the strap for that. So a nice, heavy, stable base to use. Certainly as you get more into using props at home, you will want to invest in some actual real yoga props because these are lighter. You can use them like between your knees and stuff, which you wouldn't be able to do with this. But this is a great solution for short term. Next up, straps. So we all have belts at home, and there are different types of belts. You can use a belt with a buckle. You can also use a belt that's more like a traditional yoga strap with this kind of a buckle, the pull through to cinch it closed. And then you just want to get it to the right size. So if you're using it to hold together your legs or your arms, this is how you would use it. So when we're doing our forearm planks, we want to get that belt to a position where it keeps our arms in line where we want them to be, right? So we can take our homemade block and our homemade strap and practice our 1 to 2 minute long forearm plank holds here. You can also use this strap long ways to reach our feet in forward folds. Feels good. And also another favorite of mine for using straps is when we're reclined and stretching our legs overhead. Really nice for the end of practice. All right. So that's an easy one. And then the next would be a blanket. I love a nice thick blanket like a quilt for giving some elevation in the sit bones when we're doing our seated centering, just that Sukhasana pose. You can also use that blanket for padding your knees or your wrists to give some elevation to them and some padding as well. It's also really great to give that elevation for the heels if you have tight hamstrings. Give you a little lift in your heels for forward folds. All right, so lots of different ways you can use the blanket. Maybe the thicker the better, especially for this next prop. So taking that same blanket, we're going to turn it into a bolster. And bolster is one of my favorite props for show Shavasana for restorative poses. So this is a really great one to use with, again, either some tape or some rubber bands. I'm going to use the rubber bands right now. Just do 3 rubber bands across that rolled up blanket, just to keep it together, give it a little more stability. Alright, there's your bolster. If you have a bigger blanket, you'll get a little more height out of your bolster. This length is about good for me, but again, you can fold your blanket in different ways to give you different length. And I like to use it, I'll turn this way, for my reclined cobbler's pose, to add a chest opener, so right there at the base of the spine, laying right down on it, let your head fall off the edge, open up those knees. You just hang out here all day. And also in Shavasana, it's nice to use that bolster like under the knees, also in forward folds under the knees if you have, again, those tight hamstrings to alleviate some pressure. But in Shavasana, under the knees, just giving some height to the knees to take the pressure off the low back. So all different ways we can use them. Save your money, look around the house, make do. If you come up with any other awesome suggestions, there it is, let me know. But enjoy, and namaste.